Good day. At this time, we are going to have a group discussion about a recurring problem that we are currently experiencing. Problems are a fact of life at home and at work. Unfortunately, problems aren't always isolated cases. They tend to be like onions. You peel away one problem only to find another, and then another, and you can't solve the problem you were first interested in until you solve a variety of related problems. In short, we will always be confronted with problems, so the importance of problem solving can't be overstated. That's why today we will focus primarily on a problem solving process. So first off, we have Joy Charmaine Igaya to share with us her problem solving process.
So, hello everyone. My name is Joy Charmaine C. Igaya, and I will be the first one to answer your questions today.
So, what was the problem you mentioned in the assignment?
So, the problem I decided to go with on our assignment was the problem regarding the limited spaces for sidewalks along the roads. Since the limited spaces provided can cause inconvenience to pedestrians walking along these roads, and aside from the limited space, some motorcycles also use these sidewalks in order to not get caught in the traffic, especially during rush hours, while some vendors also use the sidewalks, therefore further limiting the spaces provided.
Why did it happen, or what's the reason it came up?
So for me, I think the reason for this problem is due to there not being a standard law for how much sidewalk space must be provided during road construction, as well as the construction of establishments or houses on roadsides. So for me, there must be a minimum distance allotment for sidewalks, and there must be a specified distance between sidewalks and establishments. And motorcycles must not also use the sidewalk spaces for their own convenience.
Is it an existing issue right now in society?
For me, yes, it is an existing issue right now in society, especially in highly urbanized cities, such as metro cities like in Metro Manila, which is very congested and overpopulated.
On a personal level, can you solve the issue now?
I think I don't have the means to solve this issue right now, as this has been a problem going on for years already. For this issue to be solved, the government must implement road widening, and they must establish specific laws for road and sidewalk construction.
Can it be solved by a specific technology or process? Does it require the help of other people, and by others, meaning your group mates?
For me, I think this problem cannot be solved by a specific technology, but rather it can be solved by government bodies such as the DPWH or the Department of Public Works and Highways with proper planning and implementation.
Um, what things contribute to the existence of this issue?
For me, I think the contributing factors to this problem are, of course, because of traffic and because of the numerous number of cars, because people prefer to have their own cars rather than to use public transportation. And it's also because of motorcycles using the pedestrians when they are caught up in traffic.
Okay, that would be all my questions to you. Thank you, Joyce.
So for the next one, we have Angel.
So hi guys, my name is Angel Emilu E. Flores and I'll be answering the questions given by Joyce.
So for you, what was the problem you mentioned in your assignment?
So most of the problems I mentioned in my assignment was regarding the proper waste disposal in our community.
And why did this happen, or what was the reason it came up?
It happened possibly because actions were not taken ASAP and to solve the problem, and it was left unnoticed by the residents in our community.
So for you, is it an existing issue right now in the society?
I believe it is an existing issue in our society right now.
And on a personal level, can you solve the issue right now?
Somehow I can solve the issue in my own little ways, like segregating the garbages properly. And however, it is hard for me to solve the problem on a higher level since the barangay should also take place.
Can it be solved by a specific technology or process, or does it require the help of other people, and by others, meaning your group mates?
I think yes, since we can use the 3 R's to minimize the problem, and I think I might need the help of my group mates by asking them to start in their homes by segregating the garbages.
So my final question for you is, what do you think is the solution to this problem?
For me, there's no specific solution for this problem, but however, we can do certain means to minimize the problem by continuing to segregate in our homes, and possibly it can reduce the problem. That's all. And now I'll be questioning Ira. So Ira, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello guys, I'm Ira Jade Tariao, a 21-year-old student at the Civil Engineering Department of the University of San Carlos.
So first is, what was the problem you mentioned in the assignment?
The problem that I mentioned in my assignment and the most recurring one in our community is littering. The case is that there's a convenience store near our house, and my family and I noticed several times that people, especially children, would immediately eat what they buy, and they would throw their trashes in our front yard or near the sidewalk, and we would have to clean after them. We are concerned about this because the accumulated trash is an eyesore, and it is not aesthetically pleasing, and it can also attract pests like rats and cockroaches.
So Ira, why did it happen, and what is the reason that it came up?
In my opinion, the issue that I mentioned happened because people are irresponsible and insensitive to leave their trash out in the open. They are ignorant of the causes that it would bring, just like it could attract pests, and it could be an environmental hazard because it can pollute the water bodies and our lands.
So next is it an existing issue right now in the society?
Yes, I would say it is an existing issue because for the past year, my family and I have experienced cleaning up the litters that everyone would leave behind. And as we can see in our community as well, in the city, there are accumulated trash near the sidewalk, and no one would dare to pick it up except the street cleaners. And from what I have searched, it is also happening in other countries as well, where government will pay extra people to clean up the trash in public spaces and in sidewalks.
So next is on a personal level, can you solve the issue?
Yes, if it involves within my family's household, but when it is on the community level, that is another case.
Next is, can it be solved by a specific technology or process? Does it require the help of the other people or by others, meaning your groupmates?
From what I searched, there is no specific technology that could solve this issue, only processes. And for the second question, yes, everyone should be involved in dealing with this issue. We need everyone's cooperation. Just like we need the assistance of the government officials in implementing the anti-littering ordinance of the city to impose penalties so that people, all of us could develop a sense of responsibility in properly disposing our trash.
So for my final question, Ira, why do you think people should cooperate in solving the issue?
We need everyone's cooperation in dealing with the issue littering, because if we don't, then the problem will reoccur again.
Thank you.
So last but not least is Charmaine. So Charmaine, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Charmaine Yokte. I would be glad to answer your questions.
The first question is, what was the problem you mentioned in the assignment?
The problem I mentioned in the assignment was about coronavirus disease, or also known as the COVID-19. It is an infectious disease caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. It originated in Wuhan City of China in early December 2019 and has rapidly spread with confirmed cases in almost every country across the world and has become a new global public health crisis.
So for the next question, why did it happen, or what's the reason it came up?
The virus originated in bats and human transmission primarily, of course, through direct, indirect, or close contact with infected people through infected secretions such as respiratory secretions, saliva, or through respiratory droplets that are expelled with an infected person coughs, sneezes, or speaks. I can say that the fast spread of this disease is mainly due to us humans for being irresponsible, ignorant, and undisciplined citizens. This crisis could have been prevented if we took action immediately and worked things out unitedly.
So for the next question, is it an existing issue right now in the society?
Yes, it is. This disease did not only affect me, but to the whole world. During this past year, the COVID-19 pandemic has turned our lives upside down and changed not just the way we live and work, but also how we think and behave. Every part of the world has been affected, and every aspect of life has been impacted. This global crisis has brought a new awareness of existing problems that global and local decision makers should prioritize. Since the SARS-CoV-2 virus, the virus that causes COVID-19, has been spreading globally, variants such as of the Delta and Omicron have emerged and have been identified in many countries around the world. It has affected our day-to-day life and is slowing down the global economy.
Okay, for the next question, on a personal level, can you solve the issue now?
Sadly, I can't solve this issue alone. I can say that I am one of the mediums to put this pandemic to a stop, but this is a global crisis. Many of the problems and challenges we face as citizens of our country affect everyone on this planet. It makes sense then that everyone is part of the solution. And as the saying goes, two heads are better than one, so just imagine what can be accomplished with a room full of dedicated people.
Can it be solved by a specific technology or process? Does it require the help of other people, and by others, meaning your group mates?
Yes, 100% it can be solved with the full cooperation of all the inhabitants of the planet. Well, this includes my group mates also. With the persevering cooperation of the experts and with the use of the modern technology, we already have a vaccine. Now, what's up for us is to get vaccinated. Moreover, the COVID-19 cases will downturn if we will all be get informed, obey the safety protocols such as of staying at least 1 meter apart from others, making a habit to wear a properly fitted mask everywhere we go, washing our hands regularly with soap and water or with alcohol-based hand rub, and if feeling unwell, stay home and self-isolate until recovered. For severe cases, the best way to get treatment is to seek help from a doctor.
Okay, for the last question, this is related to your answer. So, do you think that the precautionary measures used by our government is effective?
I
Then,
can I can say that the precautionary measures implemented by the government are effective. Everything is prepared and ready. It just lacks the full cooperation of all of its citizens.
So, in conclusion, is there something that may be common to the problems you think we have shared today? So, for me, I think that most of our problems require the cooperation of all in order for us to experience improvement and have a better quality of life.
I agree with Joyce that the problems that we all mentioned requires the cooperation of everyone, especially with the problem mentioned by Charmaine about the COVID-19. Everyone should be able to practice precautionary measures mandated by our government, like social distancing and sanitizing our hands ever so often, so that we could help lessen the spread of the COVID-19 virus.
So, for me, there is another common thing in our problems is that everyone is affected. So it's not only us individuals, but also our families, our friends are also affected by these problems. So, Charmaine, can you add something?
Yes, what Angel said was true. I noticed that the common problems we shared affect everyone living on this planet. It makes sense that all of us are part of the solution. The authors define problem solving as an individual or collaborative process composed of two different skills, and that is to analyze a situation accurately and to make a good decision based on that analysis. We usually define a problem fairly negative. A problem is a hassle, it's a pain in the neck. This is often true, but more generally, a problem can be considered the difference between what is and what might or should be. And believe it or not, problems have their advantages too. Well, most problems are solvable, or partially solvable, or at least improvable. We can do something about them. The task may seem overwhelming, but it's not hopeless. Our optimistic assumption is that we can change the world. Problems are opportunities to make some good things happen. If it weren't for problems, what would be our motivation to create change? Problems are also challenges. They call upon the best of our abilities and ask us to go beyond what we thought we could do. They make life interesting and at least sometimes fun. Without problems, life could be pretty boring. As I said before, the world is full of problems, and some of them look pretty challenging, to say the least. But the rewards are great. Solutions that are well thought out and carefully implemented can really work.
So, I think we had an insightful discussion, and I hope that we can have more interactive discussions such as this. And thank you all for your participation, and good night.